There is an animal living in the cold, wet mud beneath North America that looks like a horror movie mistake. Where its nose should be, there is a writhing ring of 22 pink, fleshy tentacles. It is almost completely blind. It spends its entire life in total darkness, and by several real measures, it is one of the most extraordinary creatures on the planet. It has the most sensitive sense of touch of any mammal that has ever lived. It is the single fastest eater on Earth. It can find a meal, identify it, and swallow it before you could blink even once. And it can do something almost no other mammal alive can do. It can smell underwater. This is the star-nosed mole, and what it is like to live inside its body is stranger than almost anything else in the animal kingdom. So let me put you in there. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and you are a star-nosed mole. What is it actually like? The first thing you notice is that you cannot see. You do have eyes, two tiny dark specks, smaller than peppercorns, but they barely register the difference between light and shadow. And it doesn't matter, because down here, buried in the soil, there is no light to see by anyway. You are, for every practical purpose, blind. Your whole world is black, and yet, in a moment, you are going to perceive that world in more detail than you ever did with human eyes. Because your face is no longer a face, it has become the most advanced touch instrument in all of nature. Reach out, not with your hands, but with your nose. Around your nostrils sits that star of 22 soft rays, and they never stop moving, sweeping, feeling the dark. Packed onto that tiny star are around 25,000 microscopic touch sensors, little dome-shaped organs, and they are wired back to your brain by roughly 100,000 nerve fibers. Sit with that number. Your entire human hand contained about 17,000 nerve fibers. You now carry nearly 6 times that many, crowded onto a patch of flesh smaller than a fingertip, on the end of your nose. It is, measurably, the most sensitive touch organ of any mammal that has ever existed. And you do not use it like a nose. You use it like an eye. You press that star against the soil and you tap, touching 10, 12, 13 completely different spots every single second. And from that rapid-fire storm of touches, your brain stitches together a sharp, detailed, three-dimensional picture of a world you will never see. You are not feeling your way through the dark, you are looking at it. With your face. Here is what makes it almost eerie. Your brain is built for this in exactly the same way a seeing creature's brain is built for sight. Think about your old human eyes. They had a tiny central point, the fovea, the pinpoint of sharpest vision that you aimed at anything you wanted to study. Your star has one too. One small pair of rays, the bottom pair, the 11th, is your zone of sharpest touch. The instant one of the other rays brushes something interesting, you flick it down onto that 11th ray to inspect it in perfect, high-resolution detail, precisely the way your eyes used to swivel and lock onto a face in a crowd. And in your brain, that tiny 11th ray hogs about a quarter of the entire map devoted to your star, far, far more space than its size should earn. For the very same reason your fovea dominated your visual brain. You don't sense the world and then picture it. For you, touching is seeing. The two are the same act. One more thing, so you understand what this star is and isn't. It is not for smelling, the way a dog's nose is. And it is not a digging tool. You dig with your strong, clawed front paws, not your face. The star has exactly one job, to feel. It is quite simply a second hand. A hand made of pure touch, grafted onto the middle of your face. Now hunt. Down here, your prey is tiny, worms, insects, soft little larvae, the kind of scraps most predators won't even waste energy chasing. But you are not most predators. The moment one of your rays lands on something edible, your brain decides whether to eat it in about 8 milliseconds. 8/1000ths of a single second. That is pushing the physical limit of how fast nerve cells can possibly fire. You are making the decision at very nearly the speed of thought itself. And the entire act, find it, identify it, swallow it, takes around 120 milliseconds, start to finish. You are the fastest eating animal on the entire planet. Scientists had to film you with high-speed cameras just to catch it happening. And that speed isn't a party trick, it's your whole way of life. It lets you survive on prey so small and so plentiful that no other animal can be bothered to hunt them. By being faster than everything else, you've claimed an entire food supply all to yourself. But the soil is only half your world, because you are also semi-aquatic. You slip into cold streams and ponds and forage along the muddy bottom, still in total darkness, but now completely underwater. And that creates an impossible problem. To smell something, an animal has to pull air across the scent receptors inside its nose. But you can't breathe underwater. So how do you smell down there? You blow bubbles. As you search the underwater mud, you push tiny air bubbles out through your nostrils, press them right up against objects and the bottom, and then suck them straight back in. 5 to 10 times every second. The bubble touches the surface, the scent seeps into the air, you inhale it back, and you read it. Scientists proved this is exactly what's happening. They trained star-nosed moles to follow a scent trail underwater, and the moles tracked it with about 85% accuracy, until the experimenters blocked the bubbles from forming, and suddenly the moles were no better than random guessing. You are genuinely smelling underwater by breathing in and out without ever taking a breath. And you do all of this in one of the harshest little worlds there is. Freezing mud, black water, no light, no warmth. That delicate, exposed star is sitting right in the cold, and keeping something that's sensitive heated would burn an enormous amount of energy. So scientists recently discovered you do something genuinely surprising for a warm-blooded animal. You let it go cold. The rays of your star simply drop toward the icy temperature around you, saving the energy you'd otherwise waste. A mammal that deliberately lets a part of its own body chill. So that is what it's like to be a star-nosed mole, to be blind and to see the world in crisp detail with your face, to touch a dozen things a second and build a picture out of it, to decide at the speed of thought, eat faster than any animal alive, and smell underwater by breathing bubbles, all in total darkness, in the cold, just beneath our feet. We look at this creature and recoil. We call it ugly. A monster. The most nightmarish face in nature. But that star we find so disturbing is one of the most sophisticated sensory organs evolution has ever produced. An eye, a hand, and a nose fused into a single thing, doing what our most advanced technology still struggles to copy. The star-nosed mole was never a mistake or a monstrosity. It's a living reminder that there are countless completely different ways to experience being alive, entire worlds of perception that have nothing to do with seeing, and that one of the strangest of them is unfolding right now, in the dark, beneath the ground you're standing on. So the next time you come across that weird, star-faced little animal and feel the urge to look away, don't. Look closer. You're not looking at something beneath you. You're looking at a creature that touches the world more intimately than you ever will. If this changed the way you see the strangest face in the animal kingdom, subscribe, and next time we'll climb inside the body of another creature you've completely underestimated.